So anyway, hello everybody, welcome to the stream of Lone Wolf. We are back in the good old big quest that we're gonna undertake, but this time, it's time for a big old quest. So, yeah, essentially what happened the last time? Well, why won't we let the story so far say so? You are Kai Master Lone Wolf, last of the Kai Lords of Summerland, and the sole survivor of a massacre that destroyed your warrior kinsmen during a bitter war with your age-old enemies, the Dark Lords of Hel'Jedad. 3 years have passed since your triumph over the Dark Lord Hakon at the Tomb of the Majan, and for the northern realm of Summerland, these have been 3 years of peace and prosperity. Since Hakon's defeat, the power of the Dark Lords has waned. Rumors abound that a civil war rages in Hel'Jedad as the lesser Dark Lords fight for power and dominion over the city. However, it is a widely held belief in Summerland that your discovery of the lost Sumlending treasure, the Book of the Magna Kai, is the real reason for their power struggle. The Book of the Magna Kai is legendary in Summerland. With the wisdom of the Magna Kai, Sun Eagle, the first Grand Kai Master, instilled the disciplines into the warriors of Summerland that were to protect your land from devastation at the hands of the Dark Lords. The Book of the Magna Kai was lost hundreds of years ago, but its wisdom was kept alive, handed down through generations of Kai so that they too could share the strength to resist their eternal enemies. When you discovered the Book of the Magna Kai, you gave a solemn pledge to restore the Kai to their former glory and so ensure the security of your land in the years to come. You returned to your homeland and, in the seclusion of your monastery in the hills, set about the study of the Magna Kai disciplines. It was an exacting task, a trial of physical strength and mental fortitude. The seasons came and went, but you were unaware of the passage of time, lost in your quest for the knowledge and the skills of your warrior kin. 3 years of determined study passed, revealing the secrets of 3 of the Magna Kai disciplines. However, the others cannot be learned by study alone, and in order to fulfill your pledge to restore the Kai, you must complete the quest first made by Sun Eagle over 1,000 years ago. When he had finally completed his quest, he recorded all his experiences in the Book of the Magna Kai. The script has faded with the passing years, and now few words remain to guide you. Seek and find the Lorestone of Varetta, for this alone holds the power and the wisdom, or the few words you can still decipher of the Grandmaster Chronicle. Although the verse is brief, you are not without hope, for you recognize the name Varetta. It is one of the oldest cities of Magnamon, lying in the Stornlands beyond the Makan Gorge, far to the south of Summerland. You realize that you must set out upon the quest without delay, for the war in Hel'Jedad will not last indefinitely, and the Dark Lord swore long ago to conquer your country and destroy your people. As soon as their civil strife is resolved, the victorious Lords of Evil will turn on Summerland and summon the creatures of the Dark Realm to thwart your quest. You must therefore act quickly and with secrecy, for your life and the future of Summerland depend on your success. And so, guided by the words of your ancient mentor and with the shadow of the Dark Lords ever present, you set out on the quest for the Lorestone of Varetta, unaware of the wonders and the horrors that await you in the Stornlands. So yeah, it's a brand new set of books, so guess what time it is? It is time to do this again. So, as you've seen, after studying the Book of the Magna Kai, we've reached the rank of Kai Master Superior, which means that we have learned 3 of the disciplines listed below. Essentially, these are upgraded versions of the disciplines that we all know and love and everything. But yeah, this time we can only pick 3, so therefore choose wisely.
Looks like you're master subscriber. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Kefka, for the sub. Thank you very much. Also, alright, perfect.
Yeah, Ruby. Thanks for your advice about the mic stuff in Uz's stream. I eventually settled on a Qi USB mic bundled with a tiny pop filter, shock mount, and stand for about $30 to $40, so it should serve as a decent starter mic.
Yeah, it should do alright, but yeah, thank you very much, and good luck on your future endeavors. Yep, that's what I sound like.
That's what are you doing? It's me, such a little careful.
So, alright, without any further ado. But that's right, before we pick, we also need to check out another thing. Now the Magnakai skills are divided into groups, which means that if you master all of the skill of a certain group, you can master a lore circle, and therefore that will give you bonuses to your combat skill and endurance. And also, there might be skill check for these lore circles, so yeah, this is definitely things to look forward to. But now, let's have a quick look at what we got this time. So first of all, we got Weapon Mastery. It's pretty much like Weapon Skill, except we get 3 additional points of combat skill every time we go in a fight with a weapon we've mastered. And yeah, this time, however, we get to choose the weapons that we're good at, instead of just drawing a number at random. And at this rank, that means we can pick 3 weapons that we are good at. So that's about it for this one. Animal control. Yeah, the ability to communicate with animals and determine their purpose and intention also enables us to fight from the saddle with great advantage. Curing, advanced healing. I mean, as it is right now, we are still getting 1 lost endurance point every time. Yeah, we still have the Summer Sword, no worry about it. But yeah, healing right now still gives us 1 lost endurance point with every numbered section of the book without combat. But yeah, curing also enables us to do the following as well. Cure disease, blindness, combat wounds. Allows us to identify the properties of herb, roots, and potions that may be encountered during the adventure. Invisibility, the ability to blend in our surrounding, even in the most exposed terrain, allows us to mask our body heat and scent, and to adopt the dialect and mannerism of any town or city that we visit, so that we're gonna blend in wherever we go. Hunt Mastery is Hunting plus. That allows us to never starve in the wild. We can always be able to hunt for food, even in wasteland and desert. It allows us to move with great speed and dexterity, and allow us to also ignore the loss of combat skill points due to surprise attacks or ambushes. Batmanship, the ability to recognize the correct path in unknown territory. It allows us to read foreign languages, decipher symbols, read footprints and tracks even if they've been disturbed, and detect the presence of most traps, and also allows us to know where the north is intuitively. Personally, I'm not sure how useful that is, but yeah, the ability is there. Psysurge, it's Mind Blast, but a whole lot stronger, but also much costlier to use. If we use it in combat, we get 4 extra points to our combat skill, but every round in which we use it, we subtract 2 endurance points. So yeah, it's up to you to decide whether or not we're using this in combat. Right now, we can also use Mind Blast if we want to, against enemies that are not immune to it. So disregard the fact that you have to pick this in order to be able to use Mind Blast. Right now, we have it. Psy Screen, the ability to resist attacks from mind forces, and it greatly increases our defense against supernatural illusions and hypnosis. Ooh, you're gonna go to sleep. Ooh. I don't know. I'm imagining this is how the hypnosis goes. Nexus, the ability to move items by our power of concentration alone, and the ability to withstand extreme heat and cold without losing endurance points. And finally, Divination, this is 6 Sense plus. It allows us to warn us of imminent and unseen danger, enable us to detect invisible and hidden enemies, also reveal the true purpose of intent of a stranger or strange object, and we might be able to communicate telepathically with another person and sense if a creature possesses psychic abilities. So yeah, hopefully that was not too much of a mouthful. If people want any more information on what the things were, we can go over stuff whether we want. So yeah, the moral of the story: we can only pick 3 of those. So yep, choose wisely. At that point, I'm probably just gonna pick the first 3 skills that I see in the chat. But yeah, for summing up the thing, we got Weapon Mastery, Animal Control, Curing, Invisibility, Hunt Mastery, Patmanship, Psy Surge, Psy Screen, Nexus, and Divination. So far, I see a vote for Divination and Curing. Alright, let's go with that. And do we got anything else? Curling. Yep. It's time to throw the. It's time to throw the stone. Roar! So, all right, we got 2 of them. What is going to be the final ability that we will bring forth for the next book? Oh yeah, let's see the lore circles. I have them all the way down here below. So yeah, right now we have Curing and Divination. So that means we could take Animal Control if we wanted to in order to get an extra bonus of 3 endurance points. Or we can just disregard that and go somewhere else altogether. Maybe we can also work on the Spirit Lore Circle, which gives important bonuses. It's 3 combat skill and 3 endurance points. So, as again, the choice is yours. So this is an awesome training music that we got here. Oh, Psy Screen. Okay, alright. There we go. Alright, that's it for our Master Kai. The ability of Divination, Curing, and Psy Screen. So, alright, that's what we're going with. And of course, as always, if we complete a mission, we get an extra skill. So that's another thing to look forward to. So let's check out what we got equipment-wise. Before leaving Summerland on your quest for the Lorestone of Varetta, you equip yourself with a map of the Stornlands. So, alright, here's the Stornlands and all of their glory. The glory is tiny today, oh boy. I thought that this was a button in order to do it. Did I fuck things up somehow? Alright, hold a minute. I believe I have le fucked up. Ah, never mind. I'm hitting the wrong button. Yeah, but you're going to see sooner or later, these are not called the Kingdom of Terror for nothing. But yeah, essentially your destination is over there, Varetta. That seems like a very good place in order to start looking for the lore stone, and over there in order to have some context of where we were or anything. Here's Ruanon. This is where we were in book 4, the Chasm of Doom. Alright, that's it for that. Also, yeah, we also got a pouch of gold. I mean, I can use the table, the random number table, just for fun, because it doesn't matter what we roll, because we're gonna max out our purse. Yep, 19! Alright, there we go. Fortunately, we can only carry $50 or 50 gold crowns, so that's all we can get. So, alright, we can take 5 items from the list below, again adding to those if necessary, any of those you possess. So, alright, we got a sword, and we got a sub. Thank you very much, Parker M2, for the sub. Thank you very much. So, we can get a sword, a potion of Loam Spur, that restores 4 endurance points, a warhammer, a bow. Yep, because that's a brand new thing into these books. Bows are now weapons, so you can use these if you want to now. We have the quiver with the arrows that the bow used. Contain 6 arrows at most, and we take them off as they are used. 4 meals, a quarterstaff, a padded leather waistcoat. I mean, we're already wearing armor right now. A rope, a dagger, a tinderbox, and an axe. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Parker M2, for the bits. Thank you very much.
Some crowns, lone wolf.
Thank you very much. So, alright, what are we bringing along for the ride? Yep, alright, bow and arrow, let's go. Okay, first of all, we're gonna put the quiver over there. And we've got a column for arrows here. I put it a little out of the way because I knew that the random number table will mask it if I put it there, like for instance. So, yeah, essentially that's what we're gonna do. Also, right now... at this point, I'd say maybe take the healing potion and more food. I don't see ourselves needing much of anything else. Maybe a rope. I mean, we can pick up a tinderbox, but in the end, I'd say it's kind of worthless because we have the Fire Sphere of Kalt, which is pretty much a magical source of light that we're always gonna have access to no matter what, so therefore it's not really that necessary. At this point, yeah, let's take meals. It's just like, let's stuff our face with the biscuits and shit. Alright. Go, meal. I mean, right now we have the Summer Sword, so I'd say weapon-wise, we're not really in any kind of danger. Oh, that's right. With that said, we do need to drop yeah, alright, let's drop the sword. There we go, Warhammer and a bow, because a Warhammer... in a pinch, we can get 2 combat skill from it, thanks to weapon skill. And we also take a rope while we're at it. At this point, we can still bring something else to the party. Yeah, why not? There we go. Rope, and while we're at it, we're probably gonna have to clean up our inventory because we're out of special item room, so... at that point, I'd say Gaoler's Key, we don't need him anymore. We're not gonna go back to Vasagonia to get locked up in a jail again. Copper Key is also kind of needless. Brass Whistle, I don't know, the jury's on. Bluestone Triangle as well. Diamond, we haven't seen a use for it yet, so... at that point, I'd say, yeah, I think that's gonna be what we're gonna have. Oh, alright, anyway, we've got ourselves an inventory. It is time to go on. Ooh, alright, it's time for good old wisdom. Your quest for the Lorestone of Varetta will be fraught with danger, for the lands that border upon the River Storn are wild and turbulent nations, constantly warring with one another. Use the map to help you during your adventure and make notes as you progress through the story, for they will be of great help in this and future adventures. Many things that you will find will help you during your adventures. Some special items will be of use in future Lone Wolf adventures, and other may be red herrings of no real use at all, so be selective in what you decide to keep. Choose your 3 Magnakai disciplines with care, for a wise choice can enable any player to complete the quest no matter how weak his initial combat skill and endurance point scores. Successful completion of previous Lone Wolf adventures, although an advantage, is not essential for the completion of this Magnakai adventure. May the spirit of Sun Eagle guide you on the path of the Magnakai. Good luck. The courtyard of the Kai Monastery is strangely silent the morning you begin the quest. A blanket of frost sparkles on the battlements, and the air is crisp and clear as you guide your horse down the steep hill track that disappears into the Frylond forest. It is only a little later when you look back to see the tall grey towers of your stronghold silhouetted against the sky. You bid a silent farewell before entering the densely packed trees. You do not look back again. The long ride south is not without incident. On Raiders Road, the highway between the capital and the province of Ruanon, you're confronted by a ragged outlaw band. They demand gold, but instead receive a harsh lesson in the powers of a Kai master. You fight them and they flee in confusion, leaving 3 of their number dead on the highway. After this encounter, you are given a white bird by all the other unsavory characters of this bleak and desolate region. In Ruanon, you are greeted with a hero's welcome by the Lord of the Land, Baron Vanelond. He and his people will never forget the debt they owe you, for it was your courage that once saved them from destruction at the hands of an evil renegade warlord. You are made so welcome by the Ruinies that your quest is in danger of being forgotten in the endless rounds of banquets and celebrations held in your honor. However, you cannot neglect your duty, and the time soon comes for you to leave this mining town and venture south once more. Long ago, the highway from Ruanon to Quarland was torn in two by a terrible earthquake that scarred the land for hundreds of miles. This deep crevasse became known as the Makin Gorge, the Chasm of Doom, for its fathomless depths are cursed with a dreadful legacy. It was here, during the age of the Black Moon, that King Yulnar killed the mightiest of the Dark Lords, Lord Vashno, whose body, along with the bodies of all his followers, was cast down into its bottomless reach. The legends say that his death cry will echo throughout the gorge until he rises again to wreak his vengeance on Summerland and the House of Ulnar. You're eager to avoid the Chasm of Doom, and the long detour to the free city-state of Cassiorn is a far better prospect than a visit to the ghost city of Macken. Gradually, the fertile plain of southern Ruanon gives way to the sparse vegetation on the borders of the Dry Main. There, like a jewel rising out of the merge of the desert, lies the city-state of Cassiorn. Your stay in the City of Merchant is a brief but profitable one. A piece of luck helped by your Kai skills gives a profitable win at the gambling house of the Silver Sage. With the gold you win, you replenish your supplies and purchase a fresh mount for your ride to Quarland. A week later, you arrive safely at the outskirts of Quarland, and the evening twilight find yourself gazing upon the fortified wall that surrounds this river town. To reach Varetta, you must cross the river, and only there, at Quarland, is there a bridge that spans the fast-flowing waters of the Quarl. The highway divides as it approaches the town wall, for there are two gates that provide access to its east side. Do we have Patmanship? No, we don't. So, do we wish to approach the North Gate or the South Gate? It's time to choose. Right, let's go north. See if there's any other opinions. Let's go north. Okay, I say we're going north. We don't have any dissenting opinions. Peasant wagon and a merchant caravan bearing the Toa tree emblem of Cassiorn are waiting in front of the town gate. Bring your horse to a halt and wait in line as the great door of rust-red iron slowly creaks open. A guard appears and gestures to the wagon and caravan to enter, but he lowers his spear menacingly as you prepare to follow. The town levies 3 gold crowns, stranger. Pay or turn away. So do we pay the levy, or do we wish to not pay the tax and try to ride past the guard? Okay, pay. Okay, alright. I mean, some people like to live dangerously, so that's why I was asking. You enter a wide street where black iron lanterns swing above the doors of shops and houses, their oily black smoke staining the walls and adding a pall of gloom to the darkening sky. The street descends toward the river quarrel where flatboats lie moored at the rich merchant wharves. Warland stands at the most northerly point on the river that can be navigated by boat and barge, and it is here that the river meets the caravan routes to Cassion and the Lastlands, so ensuring the future of the town. At the approach to a wide stone bridge, you see an impressive-looking hostelry with stables and outhouses. A painted shield hangs above the courtyard gate, proudly displaying its name, the Barrel Bridge Tavern. The moment you enter the courtyard, a stable boy appears from nowhere and bids you welcome. He takes charges of your horse and shows you the door to the tavern hall. It is crowded despite the early hour, and a roaring fire blazes in its great stone heart. The smell of roasting beef makes your mouth water, reminding that you have not eaten today. We don't have gold crowns? No, we don't. Alright, do we have a patmanship or divination? Yes. Seated near to the fireplace are 3 surly-faced drinkers, their tunics stained with the grime of travel. Each wears a red badge upon their breast, embroidered with the crossed swords of Varetta. You sense they are soldiers of fortune, probably in the pay of a captain who comes from the same city. Do we join the men to try and find out more about Varetta? If we decide to not approach them and go to the bar to ask for a room for the night, or do we take a seat and order food? Okay, let's ask. Okay, anybody else wants to offer an opinion to this matter? Alright, let's go. Soldiers are swilling ale and reminiscing about their campaigns with wild exaggeration. They are brash and loud, but an uneasy silence quickly falls when they see you approach. You notice that their hands are no longer grasping mugs of ale, they now rest upon the hilts of their heavily bladed swords. Do we buy them a drink? Do we ask permission to join them? Or are we thinking, suddenly it's a bad idea, so let's go and order food? Right, get him a drink. Booze. Okay, alright. Let's get them a drink. Alright. The 3 men exchange wary glances before offering you a seat. A pockmarked warrior snaps his finger and shouts across the crowded hall, "Wench! 4 flagons of ale!" Beer is drawn into 4 large earthenware vessels, each of which hold half a gallon of ale. Staggering beneath their weight, the serving girl finally arrives and places the flagon on the table. "8 gold crowns, sir," she says breathlessly, the perspiration standing out of her freckled brow. Do we pay for the ale, or if we do not want to? Okay, alright. Yeah, pay again, you can afford it. Alright, let's go. "A toast to our gallant friend!" cries the soldiers with the pockmarked face. "Honor in battle!" shouts the red-haired man to his left. "And a rich purse for the victor!" retorts the other. They laugh heartily and raise their flagons up to their lips. Their smiling faces are completely hidden by the jugs as they drink their fill. A full minute of silence passes before the 3 jugs are slammed to the table, emptied of ale. The strong beer soon dissolves any guardedness, and they become very talkative about themselves. You take this opportunity to ask them what they know of the Lorestone of Varetta. Legend! Belches the redhead. Myth or legend? Not so, interrupts Puckface. It's real enough, but it was lost years ago. The Lorestone is magical. It holds a power that can turn an ordinary man into a king. On hearing this, the other soldiers snigger, but Puckface ignores them and continues. The Lorestone was once set in the throne of Lyris at the Tower of the King in Varetta. Hundreds of years ago, during the War of the Lorestone, it was stolen by a Salonese prince named Cashor, or Cascor. He set the stone upon a gold scepter and used it in battle to inspire his followers. He believed that it made him invulnerable, but was not so. He was killed in a battle on board his royal barge at Rem, and the Lorestone was lost when it fell from his hand into the depths of the River Storm. However, that is not the end of the story. There are many tales about the scepter having been found, but on the whole they have turned out to be fake or merely fanciful. The legend says whoever wields the Lorestone is the rightful ruler of all the Stornlands. For this reason above all others, the Lorestone is sought by many evil or unscrupulous men to further their dreams of power. If you wish to know more, you should go to Varetta. There are many learned men who have devoted their lives to the study of the Lorestone. The scholars and sages of Brass Street. They are the people to help you. You thank the soldier for his help and take your leave of the company. Do we order food, or do we just decide to go to the bar and inquire about a room for the night? Alright. Food! Food. Sleep. Lone Wolf is fat, he shouldn't eat. Right, let's see if there's any other dissenting opinion. Have some heat. Alright, let's go. Choose a seat near the corner, one that is laid for dinner and offers a clear view of the hall. A serving girl soon appears carrying a platter laden with roasted meat, and she proceeds to stack a generous helping on your plate. 2 gold crowns, if you please, sir, she says, presenting an open hand bloodied by the food. Alright, you pay. At that point, our cash is going down at the speed of the pig that we're eating. And settle down to your feast. While you are eating, you are approached by the innkeeper. He's a fat, oily individual with small piggish eye. Our lad tells me that he's tended to your mare. She's in good hands here. The best stables in all of Qualen. The man shifts nervously from one foot to the other, as if he's uncomfortable in your presence. You'll be wanting a room, I take it? Finish a mouthful of food before nodding your reply. You're in luck, my friend, he answers, obviously relieved that you have turned out to be a paying guest. We have one room left, room 17. Produces a plain iron key from his apron pocket and sets it down beside your plate. That'll be 3 gold crowns, sirs, in advance. Pay the innkeeper and slip the key in your pocket. Alright. Suddenly, there's a mighty crash as the hall door slams shut. Into the tavern strides a black-browed young lordling wearing a flamboyant costume of ebony and gold. He makes a ceremonious display of removing his velvet cloak and pompously demands food and wine, and it takes 3 serving girls and the innkeeper to see to his wishes. His manner is so insulting that you're not surprised to see the many scars that disfigure his young face. He must be continually provoking fights and duel. The lordling chooses to seat himself at a table already occupied by a small, thin, inoffensive old man. Within seconds, there is a thunderous outburst of foul language. The lordling grabs the old man by the throat, lifts him one-handedly from his seat, and hurls him to the floor. You sniveling toad! How dare you sit with me! He bellows. Yeah, there we go, big old jerko. Bewildered and frightened, the little man fumbles an apology, but to no avail. The The lordling kicks back his chair and towers over the wretch, his hand clasped around the hilt of his sword. The tavern crowd views the scene with relish, like spectators at a Vasagonian arena, but the lordling clearly intends to kill the old man. Alright, we possess a bow and we want to use it. If not, alright, we use our bow. I mean, that seems like a good opportunity to inaugurate our new weapon. Like at that point, bow time! There we go. With the speed and grace of movement that marks you as a Kai warrior, a Kai master, you load, take aim, and fire. Your arrow pierces the lordling of 4 arms as his sword descends, causing the blow to splinter stone, not skull. He utters a shrill cry and spins backward, cradling his wounded arm as he falls. "Curse you, scum!" he shrieks. "I am Rourke, highborn of Amory. I shall have your life for this! Mark my words!" Trembling with pain and fury, he staggers to his feet and demands his cloak from the innkeeper before stumbling into the night with a welter of threats and curses. "My humble thanks," says the frail old man as you help him to his feet. "I am forever in your debt." Taking him by the arm, you escort him to his table where he gathers up his scattered belongings. "My name is Cyrillus. I'm a magician," he says meekly, as if apologizing for some weakness or abnormality. "I claim no great understanding of the arcane. My talents are modest by any standard. I only dabble in simple tricks, earning my keep with amusement and sleights of hand to amuse the courtiers of Varetta." Your eyes obviously betray you. The old man is quick to note your sudden interest in the word Varetta. So, do we ask him about the Lorestone, or do we just not press the issue further and bid him good night? Yeah, I mean, it's in a similar collection. Lone Wolf is like its same... it's like a different collection of book with its own mechanics and everything. Okay, ask, knowledge is power, ask stuff. Alright, any other differing opinion here? Is there anyone who just says, we are not here to ask for stuff? Alright, we ask him. The old man narrows his mousy eyes and look at you with a cautious stare. "It is but a legend. Some say it contained great power. Others say its power existed only in the minds of those who crave to own it. Whatever the truth is, the Lorestone have been lost for hundreds of years." Sense that the old magician is not telling you all he knows about the Lorestone. So, do we identify ourselves and tell him the nature of our quest, or do we choose to not reveal? Right, reveal, show your badge. At that point, our badge is essentially just, our... Alright, let's go. Cyrillus' eyes open with such surprise that you can see the startled whites around his mousy brown pupil. "Lone Wolf," he whispers incredulously. "I should have known. Humble apologies, my lord. I thought that you sought the Lorestone for less than honorable reasons." Cyrillus talks at great length about the legend of the Lorestone. You learn that it remained in Varetta after Sun Eagle's quest, where it was set into the throne of Lyris in the Tower of the King. Hundreds of years ago, during the War of the Lorestone, it was stolen by a Salonese prince called Caspor. I mean, we already know that. He set the stone upon a gold scepter and used it in battle to inspire his fanatical followers and crush his foes. He believed it made him invulnerable, but it was not so. He was killed on his royal barge during a battle at Ram, and the Lorestone was lost when the gold scepter fell from his hand into the depth of the river Storm. There were many... Yeah, it's literally the same text than earlier. There were many accounts of the scepter having been found, but they had always proved to be untrue or simply fanciful. It was said that whoever... Okay, blah, 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 blah. Cyrillus does not know where the Lorestone is, but he does know a man in Varetta who claims to know its exact whereabouts. Let me ride with you to Varetta. In return for the privilege, I shall take you to this man. Your basic Kai instincts tell you his offer is genuine. You nod your agreement and arrange to meet him at the tavern courtyard at dawn. A shrill cockcrow heralds the break of day. By the time you've dressed and gathered together your equipment, Cyrillus is waiting for you in the courtyard below. A glorious day, he says cheerfully, pointing up at the cloudless sky with his slender oaken staff. We'll have no difficulty reaching the halfway inn by nightfall. You bid farewell to the innkeeper and his son and herd your horses out of the narrow street that lead to the west gatehouse. By mid-morning, you are riding across gentle hills crested with yellow leaf trees. The hilltops are shrouded with mist, but occasional rays of sunshine break through to lighten the lush green fields below. Time passes swiftly as Cyrillus recounts the histories and legends of the area. You learn that the rich and fertile kingdoms bordering the River Storn have a wild and turbulent past, swept by war, divided by empires, split by national rivalries, and the ambitions of petty princes who prey upon one another and the rest of the populace. Liris is embroiled in war with Magador, Delden with Saloni, and Saloni with Slovia. Battles are fought, lives are lost, and the land is pillaged with grim regularity. Only the mercenaries and the crows seem to prosper from the continual conflicts. It is mid-afternoon when you catch sight of a small village on the road ahead. There are many wagons parked at the side of the highway, and a crowd is gathered in a field nearby. As you ride past, you notice a large placard nailed to one of the wagons. Archery tournament. Entrance fee, 2 gold crowns. First prize, the silver bow of Duodon. Do we enter the tournament, or do we wish to ignore it and continue?
It looks like your master subscribed.
Thank you guys are so fun. Thank you very much.
Yeah, prove it.
Okay, alright.
Every morning
Let's
I wake
enter.
up and open palm slam a book onto the lectern. It's the book of the Magna Chi, and right then and there I start doing the moves alongside with the main character, Sun Eagle.
I mean, he's not the main character, but close enough. Cyrillus offers to stay and look after the horses while you take part in the contest. He says that archery holds no interest for him, but you suspect this is just an excuse to take an afternoon nap. You hand him the rein of your horse and hurry to join a line of men waiting to enter the tournament field. The event reminds you of a Sumlending village pageant, and the juggler, the dancers, and the numerous sideshows all add to the festive spirit. Eventually, you reach the gate where a cheerful old lady is collecting the 2 gold crowns entrance fee. You hand over your crown, we've already done so, and enter a large tent where the other competitors are stringing their bow. We have a bow. A small, flat-faced man dressed in a silver-braided jerkin enters the tent and calls for everyone's attention. Quickly, he explains the rules that govern the tournament and then ushers you into the range. At the far end of the field is a line of target, each with 10 colored rings marked 0 to 9. Each archer is given 3 arrows with which he must get the minimum number of 8 in order to qualify to the next round. That's okay if you don't know how to read. I'm here in order to do it for you. So, alright, we have to pick 3 numbers from the random number table and add them together. And if we have weapon mastery with the bow, add 3 to the total. Nah. Sorry, them's a break. 5. 7. Okay, we did it. Your score qualifies you for a place in the final, for only one other archer has scored more than 7 points. His name is Altan, a small man with rugged features, a ranger from the mountains to the north. He wields a longbow of orange toa wood, and his skill with his weapon is formidable. It will be a difficult contest. So, alright, oh boy, this fight is gonna be difficult. I mean, it works like a fight, but not really. But, yeah, we're gonna be severely handicapped here. Alright, it's played out using the normal rules of combat. The only difference is that you begin with 50 endurance or target points. Any endurance point you lose are deducted from your target points. The first one to lose all 50 target points lose the tournament. So, yep, essentially you may not gain bonuses from a shield or any weapon other than the bow. Weapon mastery with bow grants you 3 combat skill. We don't have that. So, okay, 17. Okay, combat ratio of -11. What were you saying about being overpowered again? So, okay. I mean, we're dealing with an ace archer here. Oh, 8. Alright. The enemy loses 5 endurance points. We lose 3. Like, the only saving grace is that... Okay, 6. Oof, okay. Enemy loses 2 endurance. We lose 6. Like, it's kind of tricky because the moment that we roll a 1 and a 2, it's over. 5. We lose 1. We lose 7. Four, we lose 8 endurance points. 3, okay, again we lose 8 endurance points. Yep, Altin is completely making mincemeat of our poor archery skills. Again, we lose 8 endurance points. 3. Again, 8 endurance points have been lost. 5, okay. Alright, he loses 1. Woo, 41. Whoops, we lost. Alright, we are the first to lose all 50 target points. There we go. A loud cheer shatters the silence as Haltan's winning arrow hits the target. The villagers are thrilled to have witnessed such an exciting tournament and surge across the field, eager to offer Haltan their praise and congratulations. As the tall woodsman disappears from view amid the teeming crowd, you take the opportunity to slip away unnoticed. If you use a borrowed bow for the tournament, you must return it. Alright, we don't. A shock awaits you on your return to Cyrillus. Both he and your horse have vanished. At first you cursed him, thinking that he has wandered off to a nearby ale tent for a drink, but when you discover his oaken staff lying beside the road, you sense that something is seriously wrong. Climb to the top of a parked wagon and strain your eyes in all directions for some clue to his whereabouts. Suddenly you see him, surrounded by a group of cavalrymen galloping away to the west. You count 6 of them plus a riderless horse. Your horse. Then you notice that conveniently hitched to the back of the park wagon is a saddle horse. We take the horse and give chase, or do we try to find the owner of the horse in order to buy it? Alright, yoink. No time to pay. Get galloping. Alright, time sensitive. Alright, we don't have time to haggle. Let's go. You've barely covered 100 yards when you hear a frantic cry. Horse thief! Horse thief! Don't let him get away! You tighten your grip and urge the horse along the highway as it dips and bends, following the low hedgerow that borders the tournament field. The cry alerts some men from the archery competition, and they soon appear in a line at the edge of the field. As they see you approach, they draw their bows and fire. Alright, we get no bonus from this, so alright, let's cross our fingers. Alright, we barely got it. Arrows scream past on all sides. One shaft gouges a furrow of skin from the horse's rump, causing him to twist and buck. You shorten the rein and urge him forward. Your quick thinking helps you regain control of the frightened animals, and soon you're well out of range of the deadly arrows. The chase takes you deep into the heart of the Varetian hills. Soon the highway dips and twists, plunging into the valley and hollows, carved by fast-flowing streams, and climbing through the dense woodland that clings precariously to every precipice and crag. You often lose sight of the riders, but Jeez, I can't read today. But your basic skills of tracking and hunting enable you to follow their trail with ease. It is not until you reach a tiny village perched on the edge of a tree-lined crag that their trail becomes indistinct. However, you notice that at the far side of the village, a stony hill track branches from the main highway and ascends into the tree. You don't have petmanship, so do we choose to continue along the highway or do we follow the hill track? Run for the hills! Okay, sorry. At this point, I feel like I've just condemned the hill option just because of that. Or not. Alright, 2 votes for the hill. Highway to hills. Alright, let's go to the hill. Near the crest of the hill, there is a small hut built close to the track. Outside on the porch sits an old woman who's peeling fruit with a wooden knife. She smiles a gap-toothed smile and bids you welcome as you bring your horse to a halt. Do we ask her if she's seen any riders past her home, or do we ignore her and continue up the track? Alright, we might as well ask. Alright, do an ask. Okay, that's... Alright, let's go. No one passing by here, she says, her voice heavy with a Highland accent. Try go to top of bacon, you'll have no more than that. You sense that the old woman is telling the truth. The riders have not come this way and the track leads nowhere. It is a dead end. Thank her and bid her farewell before turning around and descending the track. As you reach the junction with the highway, you see the riders emerging in single file behind the derelict cottage. They draw themselves into a circle in the middle of the village, and although they are out of earshot, you can tell by their movement and frantic gesture that they're having a heated argument. Suddenly, the circle breaks and they ride toward you with Cyrillus, still unconscious, in tow behind the last rider. You urge your horse off along the track and take cover among the dense tree. If we have a bow, we can try to ambush them with it as they ride past your hiding spot. We can attack the last rider to try and recapture Cyrillus, or do we just let them pass and then follow? Alright. Harrow ambush. Ambush. Okay, alright, ambush. Let's go. Ambush catches the enemy by surprise, making them panic and fly in all directions. At such close range, your arrow pierces the chainmail chest of the rider holding Cyrillus' horse and kills him instantly. Remember to detect an arrow? Yeah, we done that. As he tumbles to the ground, you break cover, exploding through the bushes and scooping the reins from the dead man's horse. Angry shouts echo in your wake as you take off along the highway with the wizard and his horse by your side. Your immediate peril stops you dwelling too much on the reason why these riders should try to abduct Cyrillus. However, it does occur to you that he's neither wealthy nor powerful, and so a poor prospect for a rich mansion. As you reach the bottom of the wooded crag, a stone church and graveyard loom into view at a point where the highway turns sharply to the west. Blocking the road on a charger as black as midnight sits a scar-faced young man. His eyes set in a white and disfigured face, burned with a cold, dark glow. You recognize him immediately. It is Rourke, the lordling you defeated at the Barrel Bridge Tavern. Yep, he's back. He's literally the pitiest man ever. We have a silver brooch? No, we don't. Suddenly, the riders appear and spread out in a semicircle to surround you. We have a debt to settle, Northlander, hisses Rourke, his lips drawn back from his teeth in a contemptuous sneer. I demand payment in full. Madness flashes in his glaring eyes as he removes an amulet from around his neck and holds it high in the air. Come! Come, Tagazin! I summon thee! From the pit of eternal pain, I summon thee! The skin of your arm and neck prickles with dread at the sound of Rourke's terrible invocation. You cast your eyes around you for an escape route. Only the churchyard offers a way past Rourke and his men, but as you spur your horse through the stone gateway, you're suddenly frozen with terror by what you see before you. Above the church, a whirlpool of darkness is taking form, casting a tomb-like chill on everything beneath. Frost crystallizes on the grass and flowers, and a terrible sound fills the air as the earth begins to shake. Cracks appear in the ground beneath you, and suddenly a score of fleshless hands burst through the frozen soil to grab your horse. Shrieking with terror, it rears up, and you are thrown in the waiting arms of the waking dead. You are thrown in the arm of the waking dead. So yeah, Haunted Summonation. Due to the surprise of the attack, deduct 2 points from your combat skill from the first 2 rounds of combat unless we have Hunt Mastery. They're immune to Psy-Surge and Mind Blast, and if we don't possess Nexus, we must deduct 2 endurance points for every round of combat due to the intense cold. And the Summer Sword, as always, can deal double damage to these undead enemies. Alright, our basic combat skill right now is 29, 8 points with the Summer Sword, 2 with the shield, and 2 with the Silver Helm. So for the first round, our combat skill is gonna be, okay, 18, 27, okay, our combat ratio is 9 for the first round. After that, it's gonna climb to 11, so... Alright, round 1, fight! Okay, 6. Okay, 6, and it's 9. Okay, 28 damage to the enemy, and only 1 damage to us. 28, 7... 5. With that said, we take 2 damage because of the cold, but now our combat ratio is jammed up the butt. Okay, 5, 14 damage. Okay, they're dead, and we take 1 more point of damage, plus 2 other damage because of the cold. Alright, the Undead Summonation has been defeated. As you destroy the last of the fleshless skeletons, you see that the struggle has spread beyond the walls of the churchyard. From the depths of an open crypt, a shambling mass of zombies are hurling themselves at the rioter, a shambling mass, tearing the terrified warriors from their saddle. Rourke's summonation has gone horribly out of control. No living creature is safe from the terror he has unleashed. The lordling turns and gallops away in blind panic, leaving his followers to their grisly deaths. As he disappears, the swirling funnel of darkness slowly fades, and the undead stagger and fall, crumbling into dust, which is carried away on the evening breeze. You rush to the aid of the old magician, who lies mortally wounded, pinned beneath the body of his dead horse. As you cradle his head in your hand, his eyes flicker and open as he forces a whisper from his blood-flecked lips. Brass Street. Right, we have curing? Yes, we do. Concentrate all of your powers of curing, transmitting the warmth created by your Magnakai skill through your hands into the shattered body of the magician. His frail shoulders tremble as he forces himself to whisper once more, Brass Street, Varetta, find Gwynian the Sage. He will help your quest. A trickle of blood seeps from the corner of the old man's mouth as his eyes flicker and close. He is dead. You bury him in the graveyard of the church where he fell and say a silent prayer to the spirits of the Kai to watch over him on his final journey. A sadness fills your heart, and you take one last look at the Hulken staff that marks his grave before setting off on the highway to Varetta. It is nearly dark when you catch sight of a tavern on the road ahead. Two guttering torches set into rusty brackets illuminate the sign nailed above the door, the halfway in. You recognize the name of the tavern that Cyrillus spoke of this morning, and it grieves you that he's not here to accompany you. Distant thunder rumbles through the hill as you stable your horse and enter the welcoming warmth of the tap room. The tavern is alive with the chatter of merchant, the clink of glasses, and the crackle of a blazing fire. The center of the room is dominated by a small stage on which a conjurer is performing his tricks to the delight of the customers. Do we stand and watch a conjurer, or do we inquire about a room for the night? Alright, watch the conjurer. Alright. Grumpy old milk, a man of action. Again, I can't believe you changed your name because of me. My god. Alright, let's enjoy the show. I mean, it gives us more opportunities to heal. Having removed a bunch of flowers from the ear of a startled merchant and a clucking hen from the petticoat of the merchant's wife, the flamboyantly dressed conjurer calls for silence from his cheering audience before announcing his next trick. Two children shuffle onto the stage, their bodies and faces completely hidden by long black gowns that are tied at their forehead. Only their hair, blonde and black, is visible. I'm a boy, says the one with black hair. I'm a girl, says the one with blonde hair, the voice identical to the first. The conjurer steps forward and say that they are a boy and a girl, but at least one of them is lying. He asks which is which and invites the audience to bet on the answer. So, do we bet on the conundrum, or if we don't wish to gamble, just go for the roof? No, I'm sorry, there's nothing to be divinated about this. This is all about a simple matter. Okay, bet. Skips the bet. Alright, whatever next vote I see, we're totally going to obey. Alright, let's bet. So alright, first of all, let's decide how many gold crowns you wish to wager. So how much are we going to bet on this problem? Okay, 3. I'll take the next number that I see, and we're going to do the average. Okay, alright, let's bet 4 coins. So, alright, you consider the problem and decide that there can only be 4 possible combinations, and you repeat the conundrum under your breath before making your decision. I'm a boy, said the one with black hair. I'm a girl, said the one with blonde hair. Did they both say the truth? Did the first child spoke the truth and the second lie? Did the first child lie and the second one spoke the truth? Or did both children lie? point, I'm just going to take the very first answer that I see in the chat. Okay, so you believe it is C. Oh, C or D? Okay, go to 223. Okay, 2 votes for C. Okay, or 2 votes for A. Okay, that point, A and C are tied. So, alright, which are we going with? Did they both say the truth, or did the first child lie and the second one spoke the truth? Like right now, I can definitely see very least logic is happening. I am proud. People are using their brain in order to solve this conundrum. Yep, alright. At that point, yeah, fuck it. Let's go with D. Both children lied. You are correct. The boy has blonde hair and the girl has black hair. Your logical thinking revealed they could not have been speaking the truth, but a conjurer said that at least one of them was lying. And if one was lying, then the other one could not have been speaking the truth. There was only one conclusion to be drawn: both lied. So, alright, we get 4 gold crown. Conjurer pays you the number of gold crown equal to that you wagered. Alright, now let's inquire for a room for the night. Looks as like you made it here just in time, says the cheerful innkeeper, pointing to a rain-streaked window pane. It's going to be a rough night tonight, no mistaken. Discover that a room for the night costs 2 gold crown, plus 1 gold crown for your horse's keep. A meal of black bread and hard-boiled egg will cost you another gold crown, unless that you're going to eat a meal from your backpack. Anyway, we must eat now or lose 3 endurance points. Okay, black bread is good for us. Okay, alright, I guess let's buy a meal. We're gonna buy also for the horse and finally for us. So we just spent all the money that we got. Excellent. You collect your key and climb the stairs to your room at the top of the tavern. You sleep deeply and at the dawn rise from your narrow bed to shiver in the fresh breeze, whistling through a cracked window pane. As the harsh light of morning floods the tiny garret, you see to your dismay that your backpack lies half open on the floor. A gaping hole is being gnawed from the flap, the unmistakable handiwork of rats. Any meal you had in your backpack has been eaten or ruined. Erase them from your action chart before leaving the tavern and collecting your horse. Whoops. We're out of meals. The air is sweet with the smell of wet grass. The sun rises above the trees to the east, and mist steams from the hill on either side of the highway. By noon, you reach a small village where brightly decorated cottages line a cobblestone square. A shrine with an enormous onion-shaped dome stands in the middle of the square, and in the shadows sit a group of old women. They are tending to some shrubs with bright orange berries which grow in the shade. So, we have curing? Yes, we do. Yep, you recognize the orange berries of the Halater plant. They are much sought after by warriors and soldiers for the increased both strength and skill during combat. Do we purchase some Halater berries, or do we just continue our way toward Varetta and leave the village? Yep, the fight good berries. Alright, a handful of Halater berries cost 3 gold crowns. If you swallow them before a fight, they will increase your combat skill by 2 for the duration of the fight. You may purchase up to 3 handful of Halater berries. So, alright, how many do we buy? Alright, let's buy them all for $9. And there we go. Alright. My borders. Let's rebuild the borders that we discovered. Alright, let's go. It is late afternoon when you catch your first breathtaking glimpse of Varetta. Built on a massive plateau, the city has stood since time immemorial. The walls and buildings are immense, constructed from blood-red rock and crowded together in complicated splendor. Great stone dragons writ along the battlements, their coiltails entangling the gatehouses and portals of the outer wall, and spirals of smoke rise from the mouths of angry-faced gargoyles, crouching like spies on top of the roof and towers that fill the sky. Warning, this guard is not part of the actual scenery. The sun has set by the time you reach the east gate. The red-coated guards offer no challenge, and you pass into the wide streets of this magnificent city. Arrive eventually at a quadrangle. A pillar of redstone indicates the name of the street that lead away from the square. Do we go north into Illinois, west into Coach Course, south into Flute Street, or go east alongside the street down that we've just ridden? And no, by the way, you cannot save Cyrillus. He's boned no matter what path you take. That's essentially the big price of being a Kai Master.
It looks like your master subscribed.
Thank you, Carmen94, for the sub. Thank you very much. Yeah, we need to find Breast Street.
Yeah, prove it.
The Legend of the Reading Eyeball.
Breast Street is probably between Flute Street and Woodwind Street. Alright, at that point I see two people have just said Flute Street, so let's go there, why not? Alright, the street is narrow and crowded with all manners of fighting men. Mercenaries from the south who have come to Varetta in search for employment. They fill the tiny alleyways that branch off from the main street, and the air is full with their noisy banter. The smell of food mingles with the odor of sweat and leather, and flickering lanterns swing in the chill night breeze. Nobody pays attention to you, and you follow the winding cobblestones without any hindrance until you reach a magnificent half-timbered building. Large bow windows display an eye-catching assortment of creatures of all shapes and sizes, stuffed or mounted on wooden plaques. A sign by the door reads, Chanda, taxidermist. Do we actually check out the taxidermy shop, or do we just continue along the winding street? Alright, taxidermist, nope. We aren't here to get stuff. Okay, alright, let's get going. You arrive at a tavern, but one that looks more like a huge banqueting hall than a city alehouse. The Inn of the Crushed Swords is the largest and noisiest tavern you have ever seen. A constant flow of soldiers pour in and out of its cathedral-like doors, and the adjoining stable is large enough to house the horses of an entire army. You stable your horse and enter the tavern just in time to witness a spectacular event. The middle of the hall had been cleared to allow a horse and rider to gallop the full length of the building, and bets are being laid on the rider's skill at skewering fruit on the point of his lance. It reminds you of part of the training taught to Kai Lords in preparation for battle. But unlike the Kai horse trials, there is more than just skill and the honor of the rider at stake here. In a line along the length of the hall kneel 10 soldiers from the same regiment. As the rider, men accused of cowardice in battle. The fruits the rider must cure are resting on their head. If he makes the slightest mistake, the men will lose their lives, and most importantly to the mercenaries, all the money the regiment has wagered on the skill of the rider. Yep, there we go. Pictured here, a coward. So, do we wish to bet some gold crowns on this deadly game? Do we approach the bar to talk to a barmaid, or do we sit at a table? Okay, bar, talk to the barmaid. Okay, I guess we're going to the bar. Patiently, you wait for one of the overworked tavern girls to notice you, but before you can raise your hand and attract her attention, you're suddenly aware of the sharp point of a dagger being pressed against your spine. Your purse or your life, whispers the swarthy-faced mercenary who has appeared at your side. Make your mind up quickly, or my friend may be a little careless with his knife. So, we don't have hunt mastery, so do we hand all of our gold crowns without offering resistance, or do we refuse their demand to fight them? Alright, refuse, fight, shank. Alright, yeah, fuck it. You pull away and unsheath your weapon in one swift, fluid movement. The dagger grazes your side, we lose 1 endurance point. But you manage to avoid being seriously wounded. Both men sneer maliciously as they close in for the kill. You cannot evade them, and you must fight them both as one enemy. The Backstabbers. That's it, we can use Mind Blast against them, so our combat skill is 31. So yeah, our combat ratio is gonna be 11 again. Because that's the max that we can get. Oh, but the endurance totals, however, are the same, so that means this fight is gonna be close, right? 7. Alright, 18 damage to the monster. So 18, 7. One, come on. Alright, we deal 9 damage to them and we take 3 damage. So we are down to 22 HP, but we triumph. Your speedy dispatch of the robbers have earned you 5 gold crowns. Oh, alright. We actually could use the money right now. Which you find in the pocket of the dead man and the respectful glances of several mercenary captains. One in particular is so impressed by your fighting prowess that he will donate money. Thank you, Carmen94, for the bits. Thank you very much. The Dark Souls of Text Adventure now, because we honestly, the first book is where we've died the most, and I'm pretty sure that if I did this book with the same audience than I have right now, they probably will be more careful about what they will have done. Alright, you sense that it is a honest gesture of friendship without any hidden threat, and you gratefully accept his offer. Now, this is written by Joe Dever, and for the most part, I'd say Lone Wolf is not really known to be a bullshit series, like it's very straightforward. The captain is an imposing man, tall, muscular, with a strong jawed face, unmarked by battle or disease. His blonde hair is cropped close to his head, and likewise, his beard and mustache are trimmed close to his tanned skin. You are invited to join his company, and as you drink your ale, you listen to their proud talk of wars, of victories, of loot, and wages, but never of defeat. The captain and his men have grown tired of the war in the north. Prince Janville of Helen is close to ruin, having sold all he owns to pay for a war against Baron Magaho of Carcast that he cannot hope to win. The prince's troops are demoralized and his mercenaries desert him at the first opportunity. You learn that the captain is recruiting men for camping in the south. The war between Saloni and Slovia has reached boiling point, and there is so much gold to be had in the service of the Salonese Prince Ewivin while he besieges the city of Tekaro. You have the mien of a skillful warrior, says the captain, his steel blue eyes cold and unblinking. Why not join my company? I have needs of fighters, and I pay with gold, not promises. We leave for Tequero at dawn. Will you ride with us? Politely, you refuse the captain's offer, saying that you've come to Varetta on other business. What business is there for a warrior other than war? Retorts the captain, to the raucous delight of his men. You finish your hail and bid the captain and his company good night. You change your mind? Join us at Soren. We sail the river from there in 2 days' time. Do we have a map of Varetta? Nope, we don't. Your thoughts return to your quest and to Cyrillus Dying's word. The man who was taking you to meet lives lives in Brest City, but in a city the size of Varetta, it could take you days to find the right street. You decide to try to find out where it is from someone in the tavern and look around the massive hall in search of a likely source of information. Do we approach a merchant who sits alone at a nearby table? Do we ask a distinguished-looking man who stands at the bar? Or do we ask the tavern keeper? Right? As the barkeep. Tavern keeper is the natural way to go. Let's see if there's any other dissenting opinions. Right now, the merchant and the distinguished man have no love. Okay, try the barkeep. Find the tavern keeper breaking up a fight between two drunken soldiers. His solution to their argument is short and sweet. Grabbing the two men by their neck, he slams their heads together with such force that the crack echoes above the deafening clamor of the hall. Brass Street? He replies, his face lined in thought. Yes, I know it well. Here, I'll show you. The big man produces a greasy piece of paper from his pocket on which he scrawls the directions to Brass Street. You see that it is located on the far side of the city, close to the west wall. You accept the paper, and the tavern keeper accepts your thanks before returning to the crowd to sort out another scuffle in his own inimitable way. You walk to the bar and arrange a room for the night. There are many rooms, each of a different standard and price. A blackboard suspended from the ceiling shows the tariffs. The dormitory for 2 gold crowns, a single room second class for 3 gold crowns, or a single room with a hot bath for 5 gold crowns. So, in which of these 3 rooms are we choosing to stay? Okay, luxury suite, second class. Alright, have a bet. Let's go. Alright. Fuck yeah, take my 3 golden crowns. The room is a disappointment. For 5 gold crowns, you were expecting some degree of luxury, but the small and shabby accommodation you find leaves much to be desired. Steam rising from an open top barrel in the corner of the room clouds the air. At first, you think it must be some sort of eating, until you discover it is full of soapy water and realize that this is, in fact, your hot bath. The meager luxuries of Varetta do not come cheaply. You bathe before settling down to a good night's rest, but in the middle of the night you are woken by a bright light. A shooting star of sunlight brilliance arcs over the city, shedding a rainbow of color across your drab room. You watch as the star slowly fades and then settle down to sleep once more. It seems as if you have only just closed your eyes when the loud and loathsome clang of the tavern bell fills your ear. All awake! All awake! A new day dawns, my fine brave lads! As the voice of the tavern keepers echoes through the inn, you gather your equipment and collect your horse from the stable. The night's rest restores 3 endurance points. Alright, we are not in need for endurance points. Alright, let's continue our search for Brass Street. As you ride west along a wide avenue of weathered red stone, you take in the early morning sights of this magnificent city. Window shutters slam open as the Varetians awaken to a new day, and smells of breakfast and freshly ground jallo waft from doorways. from shop doorways. At the center of the city, you cross a square paved with crystal slabs and pass beneath an archway of polished greenstone. Stately halls and public buildings give way to dust-worn shops and a park full of glistening flowers with huge leaves of red, gold, and pink. Beyond the park, a street paved with white gravel leads to a fortified tower, the tallest in the city. It is the Tower of the King, and it marks the entrance to Brass Street. Turning into Brass Street, the sound of bubbling water and quiet chanting drifts toward you in the still air. Old men in brown robe, their heads covered by a hood, glide silently across the white gravel path. You ride under an archway and enter the enclosed courtyard of a grand building, a hall of learning. Suddenly a tingle runs the length of your spine as you sense you are close to your goal. At the door to the hall, there is a sign that indicates the location of 3 chambers: the observatory, the library, and the temple. Do we go to the observatory, the library, or the temple? Oh yeah, that's a good point. Did Cyrillus tell us the identity exactly of Gwynian? Oh yeah, he's a sage. Okay, observatory maybe. All right, that's our first cast. Obs. Okay, 1 vote for library. All right, we have some dissenting opinions. I like that. So, all right, at that point, is there anybody who wants to wade in with one final opinion? Okay, A or B, I guess. All right. At this point, I'll... okay, all right, observatory. Let's go. Library. The door clicks shut behind you. It takes a few seconds for your eye to grow accustomed to the dimly lit interior, but the room appears to be the antechamber of a larger hall. Following the faint sound of the voices, you pass through an archway, along a corridor, and into the main hall. Gathered about a circular table of gleaming steel, a group of elderly men are poring over books, star charts, and astral maps, engrossed in discussion. Globes of blue-white fire hang motionless in the air above them to illuminate their work. The old men do not see you until you are close to their steel table. Their reaction to your sudden appearance is astonishing. It looks as though they have seen a ghost. There are yelps of shocks and startled expression. Sweat forms on their brow. The sight is too much for one old man who swoons and faints, falling limply across his books and map. Only one man remains calm and collected. I don't know, I like this guy. However. Like, his eyes are bigger than his mouth, my god. Alright, have we ever visited a hut on Raiders Road in a previous Lone Wolf adventure? We did, that was in the Chasm of Doom. Instantly, you recognize the old man who stands before you now, calm and smiling. It is the same old man whom you encountered in a hut on the road to Runon some years ago. The same man who handed you a scroll that foretold the dangers of the Chasm of Doom. Welcome, Lone Wolf, he says. Once again, the stars have dictated that our paths will cross. Calm yourself, my brother. It is he. It is a Kylord. Slowly, as the startled old men regain their composure, their shocked expression changes to one of awe and reverence. I am Gwynian, says their leader. We have been expecting your arrival. He points to the shard that covered the table into a massive telescope that is fixed to a platform in the dome ceiling. The stars divine the shape of things to come. They are our advisors. We know of your quest for the Lorestone. We know that it is the true quest, and we pledge our help. But there are many of our brethren who fear its power. They choose to ignore the wisdom of the stars. Then they have pledged themselves to a foolish and dangerous vow to keep hidden the location of the Lorestone and to kill all who seek it. For fear they will use it for their own ends. Suddenly, his words are cut short by the beating of fists against the observatory door. Your horse has been discovered. Give him to us! Shouts a chorus of angry voices. Quickly, we must leave, says Gwynian, and he ushers you into a smaller room. A hidden catch is pulled and a secret panel opened to reveal a passage. As you follow the sage and his companion into the darkness, you hear the door to the observatory splinter and break. The passage leads to a vaulted cellar as cold and as silent as a tomb. Gwynian talks with his brother who then hurry you off toward a distant portal. As they disappear into the dark, he returns to your side, his face somber but composed. The Lorestone of Varetta is hidden in the crypt of the Cathedral of the Carrow. This key will unlock the tomb in which it lies. Produces a small silver key from his sleeve and gives it to you. My brother will provide a swift horse for your journey. When the observatory clock strikes midnight, enter the portal and follow the passage to the end. It passes beneath the city wall, and your horse will be waiting where the passage comes to the surface. You are welcome to take any items you require from this cellar that may be of use to you on your quest. May the gods protect you, Lone Wolf. You nod your thanks and watch as Gwynian disappears into the portal. The cellar is well stocked with provisions, and you find the following items that could be of use on your journey to Carrow. Quarterstaff, 3 meals, a mace, a brass whistle, a rope, and a short sword. Alright, at this point I'd say let's replace the meals. Okay, and we should also not forget the small silver key. Like at that point we can't really pick anything else, so together with the small silver key, you do have a limit. At first there was no limit, but I think starting at book 8 they restricted the limit of special items to 12. Alright, together with the small silver key that Gwynian gave you, you collected together all the items you wish to keep and settle down for a long wait till midnight. I mean, we already have a brass whistle, so... And so far, I don't know, we haven't seen it see any use at all. Alright, while the observatory clock strikes 12, you are poised and ready to enter the portal. You follow a dry stone passageway until you arrive at a iron door. It opens with a grating squeal and a gust of damp, earthy air mixed with a strange sweetness billows out. Before you, a narrow stone stairway twists away into the darkness. You are forced to tread carefully on the green and slippery steps. At the bottom of the stairs, a rough-hewn tunnel disappears to the west. You press on and eventually arrive at another iron door. Gwynian has kept his word, for beyond the door awaits a fine leather chestnut mare, saddled and ready to ride. You are in a small copse close to the highway junction. In the light of the moon, you can see a signpost that indicates 2 destinations, Amori and Soren. Consult the map before deciding which way to go. Alright. It's time to consult this again. Hell yeah. So, right now our goal is to get to Carrow. So, do we go to Soren, which is over there, or do we go to Amori? If anything, Amori is more in the way of where we're supposed to go, so this will be an argument in order to go there. But hey. Okay, 1 vote for Amori. Alright, anybody else want to wait in? Amori or Soren? Yep, Soren's got cool mountains nearby. Okay, Soren, 3 votes to Soren and 1 for Amori. Yeah, and Soren, we're also gonna meet the warriors that invited you. That also is a case for not going to Amori. We have a certain jerkwad who's going to make sure that we're not wanted. Alright, Soren, let's go there. Alright. A night passes without sleep. The howling wind of the Variation Plain is your only companion as you ride the long, straight, moonlit highway to Soren. When dawn finally breaks, you find yourself on the outskirts of a small and undistinguished hamlet of half-timbered building, whose only unusual feature is a bronze statue of a roguish-looking young man that stands in front of the blacksmith shop. Do we examine the statue, or do we ignore it and continue to Soren? Alright, let's look at it. At that point, that won't hurt for sure. The weather-worn plaque bolted to the base of the statue says that this is a true likeness of Vinar Jupe, who led a band of robbers that preyed on travelers, especially merchants. His many crimes, including murder, did not prevent him from becoming popular, for he was resourceful and daring, and never plundered the inhabitant of this hamlet, where he himself was born. His exploits and those of a score of his gang were ended by the executioner's axe after trial at Amori. There's a slit in the belly of the statue through which gold crowns can be dropped. The plaque goes on to say that anyone who pays homage to the statue of Vinar Jupe will be protected by his spirit from robbers and highwaymen. Do we want to make a donation? And if so, how many gold crowns are we gonna donate to the memory of a rogue? Okay, alright, let's do the average between 1 and 3, 2 crowns. Let's go. Shortly before noon, you pass through a deserted village. The burnt-out ruins of cottages and farmsteads dot the landscape like charred skeletons, the unmistakable signs of war. A mile or two farther along the highway, you come across a church. A man, his clothes ragged and covered with mud, is moving amongst the gravestone, staggering like a wounded carrion crow. As you reach the church gate, he sees you and cries pitifully for help. We have curing? Yes, we do. You notice that the man's clothes and hair are streaked with blood. Your initial instinct is to use your Magnikai skill to heal his wound, but as he reaches the church gate, you suddenly realize that he's not wounded at all. The red stains are berry juice. His injuries are fake. Do we challenge him, or do we gallop away from the church as quickly as possible? Okay, fly away, better off fleeing, get out of here. Oh, alright, 1 vote for challenge and 3 for getting away. Oh, alright. Fight is slowly getting a thing. Alright, anybody else wants murder? Okay, at that point, I'd say the consensus is get away, so alright. You are tired after your long night's ride, but you know you must press on if you are to reach the town of Soren by nightfall. Come to a shallow stream which crosses the highway, and here you stop briefly at a ford to wash and rest. You must also now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Oh, that's right, I forgot to restock our meal number. Beside the ford now stands a signpost pointing to the west. Soren, 25 miles. Night has fallen by the time you reach the river town of Soren. The sky is clear and full of stars that sparkle with icy splendor. You ride the main street toward the quay where a score of river ships lie docked at the town. Their signal lamps, shimmering red and green from the masttop, reflect upon the cold, dark waters of the river storm. A board standing beside the gangplank to a large transport caravel catches your eye. On it are chalked the price of passage to 3 destinations. Luyan for 10 gold, Rem for 15 gold, and Eula for 20. A fourth destination, Tekaro, is being crossed out, and scribbled beside it is cancelled due to war. So do we buy a ticket for one of the destination? Right, just for information. All right, where's the map of the Stornland? Point. We're gonna need the full map. Yeah. Right now we are here. The boat will take us here, here, and then here. So yeah, essentially that's what it's all about. So at the light of the information we have just acquired, do we wish to buy a ticket or do we not buy anything? Okay, one vote for going to Gwynian. I mean, that's sort of fair. We still will leave us with 11 crowns after that. Oh. I don't know. Public transport is not supposed to be that expensive. Alright, we've got many people who want us to go to Gwynian, so alright, let's go. Why not? I mean, sounds better than walking. Alright, jovial man with long strands of hair hanging out from the point of his chin lies in a hammock suspended at the end of the gangplank. One eye pops open as you walk onto the deck, and as quick as a flash, he jumps down and produces a fistful of ticket from his breast pocket. "Welcome aboard the Cazonaro," he says excitedly. "The best riverboat that ever sailed the Storm." Glance back at the board and note the price. 10 gold crown to Gwynian, 15 to Ram, and 20 to Eula. "We leave at midnight, sir, so you'd best be aboard and your horse in the hold without delay." Okay, once you decided which ticket to buy, pay the man and erase the gold crown. Mark the ticket as a special item that you keep in your pocket. Alright. The hold of the riverboat is full of horses. Not the slow cart horses favored by merchant, but strong and sturdy mounts that carry many scars of battle upon their muscular flank. You unsaddle your mare, load her manger with feed, and then make your way back on deck. As you emerge from the hold, a voice calls out to you and you raise your weary eye. It is the captain, the mercenary leader you ran across at the Inn of the Cross-Sword. "Well met, my friend!" he cries and slaps you enthusiastically on the shoulder. "So, you changed your mind! You have come to join my band of fearless fighters!" Before you have a chance to answer, the captain and his men, who are all considerably the worse for drink, stumble past on a quest of the utmost importance, the search for the wine store. You're far too tired and weary to follow. The thought of your cabin bed and a good night's sleep is all that interests you. With your horse stable safely in the hold of the Cazonaro, all that remains for you to do is find your cabin. This proves to be a tiny room at the bow, but at least it has a comfortable bunk and you fall asleep as soon as your head touches the feather pillow. You wake an hour after dawn and peer out of the circular portal at the shadowy riverbank. Drizzle obscures all detail and the sky is tinged with gray. As day approaches, the river mist grows thicker and wider, and you go up on deck. The captain stands alone at the rail, the shoulders of his leather cloak soaked by the cold drizzle. He nods a welcome and points to the center mountain now hidden in the mist. "This foul weather robs us of landmark, but by my reckoning we should be in Gwynian by noon." You stare through the gray damp air and pull your cloak closely around your shoulder. "Have we completed the lore circle of Solaris? That means, do we have invisibility, hunt mastery, and patmanship? We have none of these, so alright." Suddenly, there's a tremendous jolt and you're thrown head first against the rail. Lose 2 endurance points. The screech of twisting metal and splintering wood tears through the silence as the Cazonaro shudders and dips violently. The boat has hit a boom, a line of logs chained together across the river. Hell's teeth! Cries the captain. Have we run aground? As the word leaves his lip, a grapnel and rope drop from the sky and bite onto the ship's rail. More follow, and through the mist you can make out the shapes of longbows approaching. River pirates! Shout the helmsman. Prepare to repel boarders! Further along the deck, one of the captain's men is felled by a thrown knife. His comrade rushed to his aid, but by now the river pirates are pouring over the side and he's trampled underfoot. Battle order! Bellows the captain, and immediately his men respond, linking shields and holding their ground. A swarm of grim-faced pirates are boarding close by. One of their number, a lean man with only one ear and a split nose, smiles at you with anticipation. His lips drawn back from his teeth and his eyes wide with excitement. He's obviously relishing the thought of ending your life. Do we have a bow and wish to use it? Do we wish to prepare for combat by any other mean, or do we try to evade? Okay, save the arrow. I mean, right now we still have 4. Alright, shoot him, bow, twang him. I say shoot him. Alright, sorry, Blargunus monk. The riverboat is still rocking violently from the collision, throwing you off balance. You raise an arrow, take aim at the man's chest, and try to anticipate the shift of the deck as you prepare to fire. Okay, if we have weapon mastery with bow, had 3. If we have hunt mastery, also had 1. Nope, we don't have any of that. Gotta roll high. Nope, we got 4. Your arrow whistles past his shoulder and buries itself in another man's leg as he tries to jump from the ship's rail. If you have another weapon, you must unsheath it, for the pirate is still advancing. Alright, the man shrieks his battle cry and lashes out with a heavy-bladed cutlass. Deldanian River Pirate. Right, at that point, let's raise it to 31 just on the ground that we have Mind Blast available. The combat ratio is still a plus 11, so... so I forgot to add back the points from endurance or curing. Alright, let's go, let's do it. Shouldn't fuck with a man with a golden sword. Yep, there we go. He's instantly killed. Game over. Alright, the combat lasts 3 rounds or less. Leaping over the dead body, you fight your way across the deck to where the captain's in combat with 5 pirates. While he attacks with a long sword in his right hand, he parries enemy cutlasses with a bronze sleeve shield that encasses his left forearm. He fights with cool determination, making light work of the battle-clumsy pirate. Then a war horn heralds the arrival of a new and formidable wave of attacker. You anticipate the captain's danger and rush to protect his back from the snarling, mad-eyed pirate berserkers. Okay, pirate berserkers are immune to Mind Blast, but not Psi Surge. We're back at it again, so our combat skill is 29. That means combat ratio of 9. Also, in the French version of this book, somehow they actually fucked up this fight, and they made it so that the pirate berserkers had 30 combat skills somehow, which actually was kind of a fuck up, more so considering that this is a fight that's required by the book to advance forward. But enough about the technicalities, let's fight. Alright, 8. What is 8 good for? 18 damage. Oh, 1. Okay. Pirates take 8 damage. We take 3. Oh, again. Alright, the pirates are dead, but we also lost 3 more HP. That's okay, we have won. The tide of the battle has turned in your favor. pirates came in search of easy plunder, but your furious resistance have broken their nerve. They flee from the deck, scrambling into the longboats to escape. The captain follows them, hooting at them with his sword. He cuts his way to the ship's rail and grabs the pirate leader by the neck. He rams the man's head against the mainmast once, twice, 3 times, with a rage that splits the timber in the pirate's leather-clad skull. Ha! He cries gleefully. I've always said the Deldanians have no head for a fight. The battle ends as swiftly as it began, with the surviving pirates melting away like phantoms into the fog. There are few casualties among the mercenaries, but the boat's crew has been decimated. The pirate berserkers trapped them below deck and slaughtered them. Only one escaped their murderous blades. The captain takes command, marshalling repairs and overseeing the burial of the dead. As the bodies sink beneath the dark waters, the Cazonero emerges from the mist to the welcoming sight of Luyen. Luyen, the city of flowers and wine, greets you. Its towered, timbered houses and fortified perimeter walls silhouetted against the sky. It lies in the shadow of the Sinners, at a dangerous bend where the fast-flowing Storn undercuts the sheer slopes of Mount Prindar. The captain docks at the Luyen Cave for provisions, and as his men busy themselves on a myriad of duties and tasks, you accompany him on a visit to the Luyen Apothecary. The entrance to this famous establishment is marked by a huge stone jar creaking on its chain. The shop is vast and full of things that stir your curiosity. Towers of containered liquid, herbs of coarse grain powders, and forests of roots and herb crowd the bleached wooden shelves. The captain seeks medicines of strength and healing in readiness for the battle ahead, and the herb master's eyes widen with delight when he reads the captain's list. They are his most expensive preparations. Do we examine the potions that line the shelf, or do we take a look at the other shops on the street while the herb master prepares the captain's order? Oh yeah, that's right. Also, we probably should restore 1 HP again. Right, check the potions. Other shops. Other shops. Okay, other shops. Alright. You agree to meet the captain in the apothecary in 1 hour's time before beginning your exploration of Luyen. Further along the street, you notice a dusty shop window full of weapons. Above the door, you see a sign. The Miko's Weapon Shop. All weapons bought and sold. Do we enter a second-hand weapon shop or continue along the street? Okay, continue. Continue. We're good on weapon. Keep going. All right, let's go. At the end of the street, you stop to look in the window of a tall, half-timbered shop. It contains a fascinating selection of maps and charts which detail the various cities and regions of Magnamon. You enter the shop and browse the shelves that line the wall. 3 maps in particular attract your interest. A map of Summerlawn for 5 gold crowns, a map of Tekaro for 4 gold crowns, and a map of Luyen for 3 gold crowns. The maps are all backpack items. If you want to buy one or all of them, make the necessary adjustment before returning to the apothecary. Yeah, we're still Lone Wolf. We're now a Kai Master instead of being a Kai Lord. Alright, buy the Tekaro map. I mean, we're going there, so I agree that's a good idea. Lone Wolf. I agree, this is a bad thing. Okay. That was my impression of Worf, but the problem is I don't know how he speaks, so I'd say there's a bunch of strikes against me here. Alright, let's go. Let's go back. You help the captain to carry his purchases, which fill 2 large wooden boxes. As you stagger from the apothecary, he tells you he's anxious to return to the boat without delay. His men are good soldiers but poor sailors. He fears that without his watchful eye and stern command, they will forget their work and drink themselves into a stupor. His fears are unfounded, for upon your return to the quay, the Cazonero is fitted out and ready to sail. "Cast off!" booms the captain, enjoying the novelty of his new riverboat command. "We'll make Rem by nightfall." Captain's as good as his word. As dusk settles over the storm, you sail into the Horseshoe Harbor at Rem. The city is choked with people. Mercenaries from the north and west, weapon merchants from the east, and rag refugees from the war-torn south. The captain orders his men to sleep aboard the Cazonero this night, forbidding them to go ashore, for Prince Balon of Rioma and his mercenary knights are encamped inside the city wall. A bitter and long-standing rivalry exists between the two companies, and the captain wisely wishes to avoid any confrontation. Rumor has it that a number of the Stornlands' most powerful princes are gathered in Rem to plot the defeats of the Slovians. However, the captain believes it is more likely that the robber baron are conspiring against each other to steal the riches of Tekaro for themselves. You set sail at first light, bidding farewell to the slender twin towers of the Rem Citadel, which overshadows the city quay. The storm flows southward through steep-sided fields of vine, arranged in endless straight rows like the waves of a green sea. The weather is warm, and you spend the day on deck watching the traffic of refugees heading north along a highway and the strange gigantic toads, the sloths at work, pulling riverboats and barges upstream. It is late afternoon when you sight the town of Urlo in the distance. You saddle your horse and shoulder your equipment as the Cazonero berths at the town wooden pier. Okay, we bought the ticket. Yep. Alright, you sense that the time has come for you to decide whether to stay with the captain or to leave his company and ride to Tekaro alone. Do we stay with the captain or do we just go away from them? Alright, we're called Lone Wolf. Alright, Captain looks like he's gonna get in some sweet fights. Let's stay. Okay, let's stay. Alright, let's go. You ride into Hurlo at the captain's side, his banner emblazoned with a flaming battle axe fluttering overhead. The town is being turned into a huge army encampment. Its people have long since fled to the north, abandoning their home and livestock to the gold-hungry soldiers. Men from a dozen nations rub shoulders with warriors of less than human origin, united by common greed. The captain turns to the south where the highway is clogged with foot soldiers. As you catch your first glimpse of Tekaro burning beneath a pall of black smoke, your heart sinks. This is where the Lorestone lies, in a city under siege from an army of 10,000 fighting men. Yeah. Yeah, I'm full of hiccups, sorry. As you approach a tangle of siege work at the bank of the River Quarrel, the captain points to an encampment in a field to your left where a blue flag with a gold eagle flutters in the soot-laden hair. My god, I can't say his name! Prince Ewevin Standard, he says. The time has come to meet our paymaster. Alright, do we stay with the captain, or it is time for us to leave? Oh yeah, Yuvin. That's right. Alright, we've come this far, stick with him. We shouldn't get involved, let's break off. Alright. Stay. Lorestone is that away. Stay. Alright, let's stay. Prince Ewan holds a conference of war. An hour passes before the captain returns to the company, and his news is greeted with mixed feeling by his travel-weary men. "We ride into battle tonight," he says, his voice firm and unwavering. "We are to lead an attack across the Tekaro Bridge to break the city gate, which is greatly weakened at the moment. We must attack tonight if the enemy are to be prevented from making good their repairs." Many of his men, battle-hardened veterans of countless wars, cannot hide their fear that the attack is suicidal. The gate is heavily defended by archers and cannot be taken without a great loss of lives. "Each man will be paid 1,000 crowns, says the captain, hoping to change their mind with the promise of gold, but few are impressed. What use is gold to them if they're killed in the assault? "Those who wish to fight can stay by my side," he bellows, his steel blue eyes blazing with anger. "Those who will not fight can go." Do we stay with the captain and assault the city gate, or do we leave? Nah, sadly we never got the opportunity to get lots of monies. Okay, let's split. Let's leave quietly. Yeah, is it possible for us to pull off the impossible? There's only one way to know for sure. Okay, time to go. You ride along a muddy path running the length of a ridge that overlooks a great stone bridge. High stone walls and a fortified gatehouse rise steeply from the riverbank, and the only access to the city is across the bridge. You stare at the battlement of Tekaro with growing despair, where they bristle with archers and cauldrons of molten lead. The burnt-out hulks of siege towers and the bodies of dead soldiers lie strewn in heaps before the battered city gate. From where you are, you can see the cathedral spire silhouetted in the glow of innumerable fires in the center of Tekaro. If it were not for this accursed war, you will be in the crypt in less than an hour. You see that before you the path dips steeply toward a line of tents erected behind a wall of earth and logs. They overflow with the wounded from countless assaults across the bridge. Alright. If we have curing, we can stop in order to help the wounded man. Or do we choose to not use it? Alright, already one vote for help. Another vote for help. Alright, let's help. The conditions inside the tent are appalling. Badly wounded men lie on the muddy ground with nothing but rags to dress their injuries. Many are without boots, which have been stolen by their treacherous comrade who take advantage of their helplessness. One such man is cutting the purse from an unconscious soldier when you enter the hut. He leaps to his feet and attacks you with a curved knife. Yep, my god, jerks. Right, at that point, yeah, combat ratio is 15 here, so I give him 2/3. Alright, let's fight the thief. Okay, 3, 11 damage, and 2 to us. Right, round 2. Am I gonna stay true to my word? Yes, he's insta-killed. Let's go. Alright, if we win, yep. Rising the pouch from the thief's hand, you return it to the pocket of the unconscious soldier. Many of the wounded men witness what you have done, and from that moment you become a hero in their eye. Your use of the Magna Chi discipline of curing to heal many of their wounds strengthen their esteem and devotion, and they pledge themselves to help you in any way that they can. Do we ask them if there's a way in order to get into a Tekaro undetected, or do we just leave? I mean, we've went all that way. We should just ask them. Some of the men laugh and look at you as if you were crazy, but one man calls you over to his side and hands you a letter too. It's a map of Tekaro, whispers painfully. I don't know how you can enter the city, but if you do find a way, this map may be of use. Thank the injured man and leave the tent. Unless you already possess a map of Tekaro, you may keep the map. Yep, we already got it. The path ends at a point where the river Storn and Quarrel converge in a V-shaped bank. Ogron engineers and carpenters are busy at work constructing pontoons for floating bridges, which look like enclosed rowing boats and are destined to be used to cross the river further downstream. Staring out across the water, you notice a dark shadow like the entrance to a cave at the base of the city wall. After concentrating for a few moments, you find out you can make out the dull crisscross of metal bars. It is a sewer outfall. We ask the blue skin Ogrons what they know about the sewer outfall. Do we try to take one of the pontoons to row across the river, or do we just swim across the river? Alright, let's talk to these totally friendly Ogrons. Right, pontoon, ask, tree for ask. Okay, alright. I think I got the memo. Hold on a second.
You're looking at the Hell Hole,
Says an Ogron.
When the siege began, Prince Ewan sent 10 humans in there to find out where it leads. When they never came back, he sent 10 Ogrons in. Ain't seen none of them since.
Another Ogron who is splitting a log with his bare hands overhears the conversation.
We've heard noises in the hellhole late at night.
He says slyly.
Horrible noises.
He draws a fat finger across his blue-black throat before returning to his work. Do we ask them if we can use a pontoon in order to row across to the hellhole, or do we swim? Okay, let's bargain. Ask. Okay, ask nicely. Alright, why not? They will not let you touch any of the pontoons. If any go missing, they will each receive 100 lashes as punishment for their negligence. They keep a watchful eye on you until you leave the camp. As it is now impossible to take one of the pontoon, you resign yourself to a long, cold swim. Our sewer level count? It's actually only 1 right now. It's the first one. The water is freezing cold. It saps your strength and you find it increasingly harder to swim against the strong converging river current. Eventually, you reach the rocky bank and stagger ashore near the sewer outfall. Unless we have a nexus, we will lose 1 endurance point due to the cold. Not even gonna deduct it because, hey, we got the health back. There's a gaping hole in the crisscross bar large enough for you to pass through with ease. The fetid water that is come by this grill contain all manner of filth, a veritable feast for rats and vermin. However, as you wade deeper into the tunnel, you gradually realize that the sewer is completely free of rats and, in fact, seem to be totally devoid of all life. Circular chutes appear at regular intervals in the tile ceiling, but they're far too small and slippery to climb. 15 minutes after entering the sewer, you arrive at a major junction where 2 new channels flows into the main course. Alright, we have a map of Tekaro, let's check it out. In the dim light of the sewer, you can just discern the outlines of the curtain wall and the streets of Tekaro on your map. The cathedral is right in the center of the city, approximately half a mile from the point where the 2 rivers meet, and lying due east to the point at which you entered the sewer. You fold the map and set off again toward your objective. 100 yards along the passage, you see a flight of stone steps ascending to a stone trapdoor set flush with the ceiling. we investigate the trapdoor, or do we continue along the sewer? Okay, investigate. Okay, trapdoor. Take a look. Take a look around. Trapdoor is heavy and stiff, but gradually its seal of rust cracks and loosens under the pressure. Inch by inch, you force it open to reveal at last the cobblestone city square. Across the square, directly ahead, is the Cathedral of Nyxator. As the square is teeming with guards, you are forced to close the hatch quickly. To avoid being detected. You estimate that the cathedral is approximately 200 yards due east. As you descend the steps and continue through the passage, you pray that the sewer will give access to the crypt. Less than 50 yards along the channel, another passage joins the main flow from the right. Do we investigate the new passage, or do we continue along the main course? Okay, investigate some more. Press along. Okay, press on. Okay, keep going. Okay, 3 votes for pressing on and only 1 for investigating. See if we get any other differing opinion. Last second opinion. Oh, alright, we look. Okay. Let's see if looking into the passage is a viable option. I'd investigate, but alright, there we go. Let's investigate. The vote is tied. So, whatever next thing people will post in the chat, we're totally doing. Alright, investigate. Let's go. Alright. Slowly, the level of the sewer water begins to drop as you climb a ramp that leads to a circular vault. You stop at the edge of the vault, sensing a pit in the darkness ahead. Alright, we have a cult fire sphere, so let's use it. The flame illuminates a deep circular pit where the floor of the chamber should be. Lying at the bottom are a myriad of human skulls and bone. Their surfaces strangely smooth and yellow as if corroded by some powerful acid. The faintest of sound make you glance over your shoulder. You are frozen with terror by the sight that meets your eye. A huge lumbering monster fills the tunnel, over 10 feet tall with thick twisted limbs and 8-fingered hand tipped with razor-sharp talons that are poised to rip your flesh. Baleful, monstrous eye protrude from yellow slits in its glistening head, and a long reptilian tail whipped behind it. It strikes before you can react, knocking you back into the pit. A peculiar and hideous sound fills the chamber as it claws a lever in the wall, causing a rain of yellow fluid to pour from the ceiling. As the acid eats through your cloak and sears your flesh, the last thing you hear is the hideous laughter of the Decomid. Your quest and your life end here in the sewers of Nyxator. Bow, 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 bow. Yep, welcome to, kind of a cheap death. Personally, it's just like, the game is flat out punishing you with death for curiosity. It's like, also, for the question, will we have live if we then use light? There we go. The faintest of sound make you glance over your shoulder. You're frozen with abject terror by the sight that greets you. A huge lumbering monster fills the tunnel, over 10 feet tall. Yep, same good old text. I mean, there was also a gutshot death as well in Book 4, I'd say. Some will say, oh, but going in a torchlit cavern, you totally deserve to lose, but Now, the illusion of choice is good because it just makes you believe maybe, just maybe, you have a chance of survival. But then, no, you die. Alright, let's go back in time. This time, we're gonna go on the main course. You press on diligently, counting the steps that take you along the sewer until you reach a narrow vault a little over 150 yards from the previous junction. An iron ladder, its rungs pitted with rust, rises out of the water to an arched stone door. Beneath the door, the sewer continues into the darkness. Yep, even the fire sphere didn't help. If you go into any of these paths, you die instantly. Alright, do we climb the ladder and investigate, or do we continue along the passage? Spoiler, it probably shouldn't be hard to figure out what choice are we going to pick. Because, hey, guess what? It's the same section that, killed you earlier if you decide to continue. So I'd say experience pays off. The door is old and decayed. It has not been opened for over 100 years. If you are to find out what lies beyond it, you will have to clear away the dirt that jams the hinges. Alright, do we have Nexus or Psy Surge? Nope, we have neither of these. Only brute force will break the seal of encrusted filth and open this door. So, alright, to break open the door, you should follow the normal combat rules. Any endurance point that you lose during this combat represent the fatigue you suffer as you hack and batter the door. So, if you wish to cease combat at any moment and continue along the sewer, turn to 3 on 390 or 339. Whoops. At that point, the question is, are we allowed to use our weapons here? Like, I don't know, at this point. Yeah, we can tire ourselves to death. Yeah, fuck it. That door's asked for it. We're gonna take our fucking summer sword and we're gonna burst it open with one single slash. At that point, our combat skill is not 15, but I know it's over 11, so let's not even think about this too seriously. Also, we're gonna use a shield to bat open the door. Oh, alright. It actually won the first round. This door, we got our asses kicked by a door. Okay, 5. The door loses 14 endurance points and we lose 1. Okay. Oh, 11 damage and we lose 2 HP. So far, the biggest adversary we've had to fight in this book. A door. Oh my god, that door kicked our ass. Wow, what the fuck? Alright, so if we reduce the door's endurance to 0, go to here. 10, 19. The whole stone door creaks slowly open, and as the dust settles, you find yourself staring in the crypt of Tekero Cathedral. Stepping into the chill, stale air, your heart begins to pound in your chest. The Lorestone is here. You can feel it. Beams of ashen moonlight filter into the crypt, illuminating a line of somber granite tombs that lie like sleeping giants under the earth. Clutching the small silver key, you examine them one by one for the lock that guards the legendary Lorestone. You find the lock and insert the key, but you're suddenly distracted, on the brink of discovery, by the creature that is advancing through the sewer door. A huge, lumbering monster stalks toward you. It is over 10 feet high with thick, twisted, hairy limbs and 8-fingered hand tipped by razor-sharp talons. Baleful, monstrous eyes protrude from yellow slits in its glistening head, and a long reptilian tail whips behind it. Its hideous and peculiar gibbering fills the moonlit crypt and as it draws nearer and nearer. Alright, do we wish to use our bow, or do we just prepare for combat? Now, because the other one, it caught us by surprise and it whipped us straight into a pit. So this way, we can actually, you know, fight. Yeah, but life is also, you know, bullshit at times. You know, it's just, there's gonna be a rhyme and reason for everything. Alright, let's use the bow, why not? Trembling with fear, you draw the bowstring and fire. The arrow glances off its armored head and shatters against the crypt wall. There is no time for a second shot. Shoulder your bow and prepare for close combat as the creature moves into stride. Okay, alright. It's time to eat berries. The hideous creature gurgles with anger and springs forward to attack. Immune to Psy Surge and Mind Blast. So, okay, right now, this will be our combat skill if we had Mind Blast, but the berries are compensating for that, so that's still the amount of combat skill that we have for this fight. Nope, we can only eat one berry. Okay, here we go. Time to fight the big bad. But with that said, there's a caveat to this. If you reduce its endurance to 25 or less, we stop combat and immediately go to the next section. Okay. Wait, hold on, I didn't even set everything right. So combat skill is 6. The monster takes 6 damage, we take 4. At that point, it's not time to roll crap as we're doing right now. Monster takes 8 damage, and we take 3. Oh, I thought we were gonna get 6. That commit takes 11 damage, and we take 1 damage. Alright, we've successfully lowered the monster's endurance to below 25, so let's just go to another place. The crypt floor is crawling with the severed remains of the monster, which still writhe blindly forward with maniacal intent. Spider-like, a severed hand climbs your leg and embeds its talon into your flesh. Alright, you lose 2 endurance points. As you fight to free yourself from his vice-like grip, the torn pieces of the decomit body gather themselves together for another attack. So, do we leap forward and strike the creature before it's completely formed, or do we unlock the tomb and retrieve the Lorestone? Alright, drink a potion and fight, jump back in. Alright. Okay, alright. I mean, we're gonna drink it anyway. Alright, attack! Get the beast! Okay, there we go. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it! The decomid shudders and reels back as your weapon makes impact, sinking deep into flesh that clings like Jillian reeks of a charnel smell that closes your throat. A drop of its watery blood splashes on your arm, eating through your tunic and searing your flesh. Your weapon disintegrates, corroded by the blood. Before you can pull away, a razor-sharp talon snares your cloak and draws you to your doom. Your life and your quest end here, in the crypt of Tekaro Cathedral. Down, 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 down. There we go. Yeah, violence is bad. I reject this ending. Yeah, this book has a bunch of gut shots. Like, people have done a mostly good job not dying in book 3 and 5. I mean, there would have been some bad situations in book 5, but this book has some big bullshit in there. This, however, is stupid, I will confirm. But yeah, sadly, you cannot punch the author because he unfortunately passed away from illness. So, alright, I guess we're gonna go back in time and we're gonna unlock the tomb and retrieve the Lorestone. As the door creaks open, a sun-like radiance pours from the tomb and floods the crypt with golden light. Its searing intensity paralyzing the Decomid. You grab the Lorestone and your senses reel with newfound wisdom and strength. Instinctively, you raise your weapon and strike the monster at the base of its hideous skull. It shrieks and dies instantly. Remember to erase a small silver key. Also, no, we're not gonna have the potion back. We've read it, we drank it in order to anticipate the combat again, and it still is considered as drank into our book. Before your eyes, the Decomid skin ripples as if a wave were washing beneath its skin. Suddenly, a crisscross of wrinkles appear, and layers of transparent bone peel and fall from its shell-like skull. Its body becomes a hunch, shrinking and folding by the second, until all that is left is a film of dust on the floor of the crypt. Time has at least caught up with this ancient terror. The ancient terror. As the golden light begins to fade, you stare at the object of your quest, the Lorestone of Varetta. But all that you hold in your hand is a hollow sphere of glass, transparent and unremarkable to look at. Your quest has succeeded, for the power of the Lorestone has been transfused into your body and mind. Its strength and wisdom is now a part of you, and the transfusion signals the beginning of a new and deadly challenge on your quest for the Magna Chi. But be warned, the quest will draw you into a sinister realm where a malicious and terrible evil has grown in power since Sun Eagle first completed the Magna Chi quest. If you possess the courage of a true Chi Master, the challenge and the quest await you in Book 7 of the Lone Wolf series entitled
Castle Dead.
Like, hold on, can we? Sadly I cannot access the book from over there, so whoops. Yeah, it's a continuous quest. It's like, as we have finished this book, we're going to learn ourselves a new Magna Chi discipline, and yeah, we're also gonna continue with the items that we got and all of that good old jazz. At that point, hold on a second. I'd say before we quit the stream, I'm going to go and do a small thing, like really quick, in order to set up the table for the next book, but I need before that to actually, you know, introduce you to one of the new things that is introduced into the Magna Chi book, and it is that whenever we grow in rank, we're also gonna have improved disciplines. Also, what happened to our hold abilities? They're still here. It's just, right now we're replacing them with brand new ones that will just be better in every way. Also, no, we're not gonna tackle Castle Death now. I don't know how long it's gonna take. It literally could take like 1 hour, or it could take like about 2.5. It's like there's no middle ground. So before we pick our disciplines, let's actually, you know, hold on a second. We're gonna immediately read what improve abilities we get with the disciplines now that we've reached the primate difficulty. Yeah, sadly we don't know. But yeah, here's the improve abilities we're gonna get at primate skill. Animal control. Primates with the Magna Chi discipline are able to repel an animal that's intent on harming them by blocking its sense of taste and smell. The level of success is dependent on the size and ferocity of the animal. Curing. We have the ability to delay the effects of poisons, including venoms, that they may come in contact with. A Chi primate is not able to neutralize a poison. You're able to slow down its effect, giving us more time to find an antidote or a cure. On mastery, we have the ability to have a greatly increased agility, and we're able to climb without using climbing aids like ropes. Psy Surge, we gain the ability to concentrate our psychic powers upon an object, be able to set up vibration that may lead to the disruption and destruction of the object. And Nexus, we gain the ability to have a far greater resistance to the effects of noxious gases and fumes. So with all that we're seeing here, what's going to be our fourth discipline that we're going to carry along for the next book? At this point, I'm just going to immediately go back to the Magna Chi disciplines in order to remind you what we have left to pick. We have Weapon Mastery that we can pick, which give us 3 combat skill with weapons of our choice. We can pick up to 3 weapons, and in fact 4 now that we finished the book successfully. We got Animal Control, Invisibility, which allows us to mask our body heat and scent, Hunt Mastery, which allows us to ignore any combat skill point due to a surprise attack or ambush, and we also get to skip on meal forever. Pathmanship, the ability to recognize the correct path in unknown territory. Psy Surge, which gives us extra combat skill at the expense of endurance every round you use it. And yeah, we also get Nexus, which also allows us to move items with the power of our mind and to withstand extreme heat and cold. So, okay, at this point, yeah, Weapon Mastery, Path Mastery. I mean, Pathmanship is definitely always solid. I mean, you've seen in the last book, it's been called on a whole lot. So Weapon Mastery is going to further make us very good in combat. But yeah, Pathmanship might dodge us some nasty things. At that point, we got no consensus. Weapon Mastery, Hunt Mastery, Invisibility. Oh, penmanship. Go for the penmanship at Penmaster Island. Oh, alright. 2 votes for Weapon Mastery, 3 for Pathmanship, 1 for Hunt Mastery. So that's the most badass music just for learning skills right now. Yeah, I'd say right now Pathmanship is definitely the thing that is getting the most favor. So alright, Pathmanship, aka Pathmanship. Pathmanship is essentially tracking 2.0. I can't really say that it never ever comes into play. Well, not come into play, but it's not gonna not come into play. I mean, do you want a spoiler? Do you know? Do you want to know what happened if we had gone to Amory? I mean, we can go and check it out real quick. Like, hold on a second. Whoops. No. So, okay, I just need to remember to. Okay, all right. Yeah, let's pretend that we're going to Hammery this time. Alright. Yeah, you ride all night without sleep, with only the moon to light your way and the howling wind as your companion. As the first light of dawn creeps over the horizon, you see a small village less than a mile ahead. A dog barks gruffly at you as you ride into the refuse-strewn street, and you are forced to drive it away with the toe of your boot as it snaps persistently at your horse's hind legs. On the far side of the village, where the highway enters a line of scattered hill, a fortified manor house stands guard. A large sign, faded by wind and rain, proclaims a curious message. Amory says 3 gold crowns. Do we stop in order to inquire about the meaning of the sign? I mean, why not? At this point, we're here to learn. Spurring your horse up the steep path to the manor house, you pass beneath its turreted gate and halt at a small outhouse whose walls are embellished with intricate ironwork. The top half of a stable door swings open and a spiky-haired youth leers at you. "Be what in assess for Hammery?" he says offhandedly. 3 gold crowns. He holds a square of blue card in one hand and presents an open palm with the other. All right, do we ask him what a cess is, or do we pay him 3 gold crowns, or do we ignore him? Like, at that point, since we're just doing this for fun, I'll just take literally the first option that I see in the chat. Oh, actually, nah, fuck it. Let's ask him. It's the tax you gotta pay to enter Amory, he answers, irritated by your ignorance of local customs. This is Lyris and Amory's and Salony, he exclaimed, emphasizing every word as if you were deaf or dull with it. You will need a cess to enter Amory. Alright, do we buy a cess? Do we ignore him and continue our journey? Or do we teach him some matters? Alright, yeah, let's teach him some matters. Grabbing hold of the door, you slam it shut as hard as you can. The youth is unprepared and the door catches him squarely in the face, somersaulting him backward over a table and chair. As the door rebounds open again, you see him sprawled flat on his back, unconscious with a huge lump beginning to swell in the center of his forehead. You pick up a square of blue card and notice that it's stamped with today's date. This will grant you access to the town of Amory, but only for today. You pocket the cess and leave before the youth comes to his senses. By now the hills lie far behind and you catch your first sight of the snow-capped centers. To the south, nestling at the foot of this mountain range, is Amory. You are tired after your ride, but you know you must press on if you are to reach the town by nightfall. You reach a junction where a stone signpost indicates 2 directions, northwest to Soren and south to Amory. Both towns lie exactly 25 miles from this point. You're hungry and you must now eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. It's like at that point the book is just like, hey, are you sure you want to go to Amory? It's like, yeah, we're gonna give you a chance to change your mind. You can still go in the right place for the book to continue, but we don't want that. We want to continue to Amory. An hour after sunset, you arrive at the gates of Amory. Beneath the deepening shadow of its watchful guard tower, you fight back your fatigue and wait as the gate creaks open. A soldier wearing a hauberk of black and gold chainmail strides forward and demands to see a cess. You possess a cess? Yes. The guard snatches a square of blue card from between your fingers and walks over to a sputtering wall torch, which he removes from its bracket. Holding the torch high, he returns and examines first the card and then your face. Enter! He snarls, crumpling the card in his hairy fist. Flick your heel and urge your tired horse through the town gate. Suddenly, all hell breaks loose. Alarm bells ring, gruff voices bellow and scream, and the crunching of boots on stone echoes round the town. A troop of soldiers surround you, their faces twisted and unnatural in the glare of their flaming torches. Your senses have been dulled by fighting, by fatigue, and you are dragged from the saddle and disarmed before you have even had a chance to react. Cold iron chains are wound tightly around your arm and body, and you're roughly pushed into a grey stone jail. A wave of terror engulfs you as you catch a fleeting glimpse of a poster pasted to the jail door. You see your own face before you. Beneath it is written, Death Sentence, by order of Lord Rourke, Highborn of Amory. Within the hour, your head is resting upon the executioner's block. As the razor-sharp blade of a 2-handed axe whistles toward your neck, the last sound you hear is the malicious and vengeful laugh of the young lordling. Your life and your quest end here. Yeah, he's really pity about this whole being shot in the arm thing. Like, he summoned a horde of zombies and he got the entire town guard to capture us and then execute us. So, yep, anyway, that is going to cover it. I mean, a gotcha. It's like you, I'd say it's a gotcha, but on the flip side, it's like they're giving you a lot of thing in order. Yeah, good thing we got the sis. By the way, if you don't have the sis, yeah, the soldier remove a sputtering torch from a bracket on the wall and return to your side. Holding the torch high, he casts his eye over you and your horse and rubs his stubbly chin. You come from Varetta or Soren? Long ride either way, you must be tired. In you go, but in the future, be sure to get a sis. Some of my brother guard ain't so understanding. thank the garden, right into the town gate. And suddenly all hell breaks loose. Yep, there we go. You die either way. There's no surviving Amori. Yeah, you go way out of your way to visit a city where the guy waits you as the ruler. I mean, that's a very good way in order to phrase it. But yeah, anyway, that will cover it for Book 6, The Kingdom of Terror. And I gotta say, in French, this book is much less badass sounding because it's just called La Pierre de la Sagesse, which is just the Lorestone. So yeah, really boring.